The A's All-Stars are primed for Minneapolis.
Swing and a miss, a high fastball, and it's a grand slam for Martin.
The throw to the plate, the tag, out of the plate.
Are you kidding me? Has he done it again? Norris connects.
Doolittle strikes out the side. He gets the save in style.
Walk it off. Donaldson's done it.
Another beautiful day for baseball here in Seattle as the A's and the Mariners wrapped up the first half of the season, and Sonny Gray is going to take them on for the A's, trying to get a win in this series. Mariners have won the first two games, so it's game 3 of the series. It's the A's and the Mariners coming up on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's baseball, along with Ray Fossey. I'm Glenn Kuiper. Well, big game today, but you would understand if some of these guys may be looking forward to Tuesday. The A's have 7 All-Stars, and boy, those guys have to be excited. I know we're very excited for them, and we're proud of them as well.
Well, we were just hoping for a couple of here. 7 are going. I think Sean Doolittle said it best. He said, we were hoping that one pitcher would represent the pitchers, one position player represents the position players, and look at all of them that are going, representing everybody. So it's going to be great to see not only the players, but a couple of coaches. Of course, they will be there throwing during the home run derby, but congratulations to those players who are going to be going to Minneapolis for the All-Star game representing the Athletics on Tuesday night.
See a lot of first-timers on that list as well.
Absolutely, a whole bunch of them.
Now, today's game, Sonny Gray is going for his 10th win. Chris Young is going for his 9th win, so two guys having very good years.
Of course, we know what Sonny Gray can do with a great fastball, great curveball. I'm stuttering a little bit because you think of Chris Young, who's tall, throws slowly, and then on the other hand, Sonny Gray not as tall, and he throws about 95. We know he has a good fastball, a good curveball. The thing about Chris Young is that he elevates his fastball about 86 to 88. The important thing for the Athletics, try to avoid hitting the weak pop-ups. We've seen that when he has pitched against the Athletics. So to be Sonny Gray, the very, very good fastball and a curveball, and of course Chris Young, see how the A's approach him today.
And Sonny Gray's going to go to an All-Star game or two before his career is over as well. So the A's are trying to avoid being swept by the Mariners here in Seattle. So we're looking forward to another good pitching matchup here at Safeco Field. Up next, we'll go back to the A's pregame live studios. Heads up! And then come back to Safeco Field for lineups in the ball game.
Head to Jack in the Box for the new Jalapeno Ranch or Barbecue Ultimate Cheeseburgers at participating restaurants. And by Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to Safeco Field, and as we just get back, the Seattle Mariners take the field with the all-white uniforms. The A's with the green tops on today, gray pants, and it is the final game of the first half of this 2014 season. Let's check out the game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. Another warm day here in Seattle, 79 degrees. Just a very, very slight breeze. So the first day game of this 3-game series, and lots of sunshine in the Northwest. So let's look at the lineup for the Oakland A's tonight, or today. It starts with John Jaso. He's going to catch. Vogt is at first. Cespedes will DH. Moss in right. Donaldson at third. The three guys headed to the All-Star game. Then Lowry, Punto, Perino, and Gentry.
And it is right-hander Chris Young on the mound, the tall right-hander, not overpowering, but very good pitcher, as the veteran is an 8-game winner on the season. He's making his third start against the Athletics, and earlier in the season, when the starter was scratched, he came out of the bullpen for his first ever relief appearance and had a no decision as he pitched a couple of innings. But he's a fly ball pitcher, as is indicated by the fact that the A's in his first start, 12 fly ball outs, and in the second one, 9. So they'd like to get on top of the 86 to 88 mile-an-hour fastball, see if they can drive it. And if they do, it should be a good day, because I'm sure the ball's going to carry it well again this afternoon with the roof open.
Defensively behind Chris Young today, it'll be Ackley in left, Jones in center, Andy Chavez in right, Seager, Miller on the left side of the infield, Cano and Smoke on the right side, and Mike Zunino is back behind the plate after getting the night off last night. So Chris Young is ready, and so are we.
One of the things the A's and in the scattering report on Chris Young, he throws the fastball, he throws a curve, a slider, to change up. He throws his slowest one 77, the hardest 88. So you only have 11 miles an hour difference between all the pitches. They can either fool hitters, which at times he will do after winning 8 games, but he has a little bit of a strange delivery, and once again the A's have seen him enough to know what to expect.
So Jaso steps in. He's catching and leading off this afternoon. A couple of hits in this series. He's ready. So is Chris Young, and the big right-hander kicks, and the first pitch is in the first drive. So you mentioned those fly ball outs, Ray, and I think what we noticed was, I don't want to say weak fly balls, but just
they were
not being driven,
yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Well, and Chili Davis, the A's hitting coach, and I asked him about that, and he said the important thing is to realize this fastball, the first one of the game was at 85, and it's a fastball four-seamer. But he said the important thing is to look at it as not being 85, 86, 87. Look at it as 91, 92. Be aggressive. And he thinks that if the hitters stay back and think about slower type of fastball, they get caught on the heels and they hit those weak pop-ups as you described. And I agree with you. Those pop-ups, they're not long fly balls. They are weak pop-ups to the infield or shallow outfield. And he just wants them to be aggressive. Those are some guys that could be aggressive. We know Donaldson will be for sure.
Hit toward the shortstop, scooped up by Miller. One away.
So the approach has been described. It's just a matter of the approach can be utilized by the A's hitters. And we'll see as Chris Young can frustrate some hitters. Because you look at his size and then you look at Sonny Gray, and it's just the exact opposite of the velocity of the fastballs.
So here's Vogt, 371 with 4 home runs and 17 RBIs. First pitch just a touch inside. Stephen Vogt sitting on a 12-game hitting streak. And today he's playing first base.
I think you might see in the case of Stephen Vogt, 1-0, normal circumstances might be looking fastball and pull the trigger, but hitters might want to see firsthand from Chris Young out of his hand and the velocity before they do decide to swing. John Jaso did on the 3-1, was actually jammed on the ground ball hit to short.
That's low. Breakdown of what Chris Young throws. Lots of fastballs. Decent amount of sliders, but just comes right over top and just bump that fastball in. And that one's hit high in the air. I think that's kind of what we're talking about, Ray. If you watch where that pitch was, just a little bit up.
At 85 miles per hour. Darren Bush and Mike Gallego will not be throwing much less than that, the home run derby. But, you know, you look for it, and I think there's a perfect example. He was a little bit late, on his heels a little bit. And as Chili said, if you're aggressive and look at that as a 91 and you're out in front, it's going to be on a line drive versus getting back on the heels and popping it up.
So 2 away, and here's Cespedes, who's the designated hitter today. Cespedes dealing with a little bit of a hamstring issue. We saw that last night. So, in fact, it didn't look like late in the game, Ray. He was not moving around real well in the outfield.
Yeah, you're right, because the one ball was hit to him. I think Cano is that normally he would be charging, probably catching, but stayed back and took it on one hop.
Oh, 2. And that one hit toward left. Ackley's under it. And that'll do it. So a couple of fly ball outs and a ground ball out and a 3-up, 3-down inning for Chris Young. The first, let's look at the lineup for the Seattle Mariners today. Andy Chavez, James Jones, Robinson, Cano. Cano's had a big series. Then Seager, Morrison, Smoke. And at the bottom, it's Ackley, Miller, and Zunino. So lots of left-handed hitters in that lineup.
And Sonny Gray looking for win number 10. How great would it be for him to get to double figures before the All-Star break? And he has had a couple of wins this year. As a matter of fact, he's undefeated against the Mariners in his career. But the 2 wins back-to-back starts on the 6th of April and the 12th of April. First one in Oakland, the second one here. Struggled in the first one, and the second one had his fastball working early, but then the curveball brought that in. So he's got a couple of different pitches, actually several to throw, and we'll see how he starts out in this game.
Andy Perino's playing left field today. Gentry in center, Moss in right. Donaldson, Lowry, Punto, Vogt in the infield, and John Jaso is your catcher. So Andy Perino gets a start in left field.
Not a stranger in the outfield, more in the minor leagues, only his second start at the major league level, the other one right field. So he's giving Yoenis Cespedes an afternoon off, as Cespedes is the DH today.
Andy Chavez, 260 with a homer and 8 RBIs. So second career game in left field for Andy Perino. Played 1 inning a couple years ago with the Padres.
You know, we'll see how it works out. Sonny Gray has a very good fastball, but there are 8 left-handed hitters in this lineup. So guess what? First it's hit towards left. It's not going to make it out there. But that's what's going to happen with a good fastball. You might see some of the lefties a little bit late. Time now for the Nissan keys of the game. Yes, win before the break, and for Sonny, stopper time, because as we have said many times, you have a good rotation. Every one of the starting pitchers can be the stopper of a losing streak, and right now the A's have lost 2 straight. And they would like to have a big win before the break. And I think Bob Melvin has talked all week about the week leading up, but even more so the final game before. Everybody goes their different directions before taking the 4 days off. And see if the A's can pick up a win, salvage one of this 3-game weekend series.
James Jones steps in. A couple of doubles in this series. He has scored a couple of runs. A little bit outside. You can hear home plate umpire Mike Walensky letting us know the location of the pitch, and he's picking that up a little bit on our microphones, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, because then we don't have to wait to see the right arm, the right hand go up for strike. Bob Davidson will let us know, though. He's at third base today. He's going to be close to Brad Miller, who he ejected last night for smiling at him.
Can't do that to an umpire. So 2-1 to Jones with Robinson Cano waiting in the on-deck circle. Right over the bag and into center field. So the speedy James Jones is aboard.
Well, there's something that we see often. He missed with a 1-1 curveball, came back with a 2-1 fastball, and so many times a hitter will expand their strike zone and be very aggressive on a pitch that they think they're going to get. In this case, a fastball that Jones got, perhaps looking for it after Sonny Gray missed with the curveball. That's why the changeup is so good, because you can back up the changeups when hitters might be looking fastball. This guy, you better be ready for the first pitch for him to attack.
Big night last night. 3 hits, including a 3-run homer. And he will head to the All-Star game with 3 of his teammates. Mariners sending 4, A's sending 6, make it 7 with some margin. And that one is thrown past Vogt, and Jones can run. And Jones rounds the bag. He's going to try for third. Punto's throw is shut down by Lowry, who was kind of the cutoff man. So Jones ends up at third. Punto grabbed it, and Lowry became the cutoff man.
Throw way offline, and Sonny Gray aggressive, and he always throws that way to first base. And Stephen Vogt, while he has played first base, it's not like he's been out there every game to throw offline. And once it went down the foul territory, it was going to be at least 2 and more than likely 3, and that's where he ends up, especially with the speed.
He'll get there at some point. So the question is, would you rather slide too early or too late?
Well, it depends how much water's on the field, because if he slides that late real early, he may get stuck in the mud.
He's never going to get there. Either way, he's at third with 1 out. And that one tapped slowly toward Gray, who picks it up, throws to first, and Vogt is able to dig it out, but a run comes in to score. So Cano just hit a little dribbler that Gray picked up, kind of threw off balance.
That's the contact play, and with the speed of Jones, Sonny Gray, he handled it well. He's a great athlete off the mound, but if he'd taken a chance there, and actually I think Jaso was pointing to first base, telling him, you don't have a chance here. See if we can see Jaso, but Sonny Gray was off thinking about the plate, but had to throw off balance and forced him to throw out far enough in front of Vogt that he could get the out. But the error is costly because the run scores on a tapper in front of the plate.
It was the first error in this series by the Athletics. So here's Seager. For Cano, he gets his 57th RBI of the year. Kyle Seager with the home run last night. Also had a double, a couple of RBIs. Nice dirty uniform, and it's only the first inning. Ray, you think about what they call the swinging strike on Seager. Oh my goodness! Strike 3. Seager is in absolute disbelief. The A's will take it, and the Mariners get a run. 1-0 after 1. Inning, Kyle Seager.
Well,
he's called a swing.
This is a swing. And that's strike 3. Nice block by Jaso. Picked it up and tagged. Bob Davis said, "You're out." And that effect, Seager was standing at third base. He disliked it so much he ran to right field.
That's terrible. I mean, that is a terrible call.
Seager is over in right field. That's the third baseman. Or someplace.
Yeah, he's moving around. So Brad Miller wants to say something to Bob Davidson from last night. Kyle Seager wants to say something to him from tonight. Right to Cano. Flips to first, and they get lost. The whole A's dugout wants to say something to him from Friday night. So he's covered everybody in this series as Bob Davidson. So with 1 out, Donaldson steps in. First 4 hitters be retired by Chris Young. That one's driven to center, hit well, but right at Jones. And he's got it.
How about that?
That is a great note, and I know, Ray, you talked about it, that and their size difference.
Yeah, about a foot difference, 10 to 12 inches height-wise, and Sonny, of course, 8-mile-per-hour different average with his fastball.
And Chris Young, 6'10", same height as Randy Johnson. Different ways to get it done.
Oh, boy.
Quick 0-2. And Chris Young coming in, a good ERA at 3.08. Sonny Gray, ERA, very good, 2.97. So not a whole lot of difference there. Right to Smoke, grabs it, Steps on the bag, and 6 up, 6 down for Chris Young. We're going to the bottom of the second inning. It's 1-0 Seattle. Right choice. The Mariners starters in the first 2 games of the series, not too shabby. Felix Hernandez gives up 2 runs in 8 innings, strikes out 9. And then last night, Hisashi Iwakuma, 8 2/3 innings, gives up 2 runs and strikes out 8. So pretty good 1-2 punch for the Seattle Mariners. Iwakuma was trying to get his first shutout. He could not quite do it.
I remember at one time when there was Michael Pineda following Felix Hernandez, and everybody thought that 1-2 combination was going to be unbeatable. Well, Pineda traded to New York, injured. Montero, AAA. But Iwakuma stepped in perfectly.
So both wins, obviously.
So Pineda last night 1/3 of an inning, and Fernando Rodney 1 inning on Friday. And that's pretty good, because on Thursday night, remember, about 6 relievers were used to start against the Twins. So Felix could be backed up to Friday night.
Hernandez will head to the All-Star game with 11 wins. He's 11-2.
Felix does not need the bat on Tuesday because it's an American League Park. No pitchers will hit then. Maybe getting ready for interleague play.
He's got a pretty good chance to start that All-Star. Yeah. No announcement yet. We'll find that out tomorrow.
There's a great article in the local paper about his decade, the decade of Felix Hernandez. How about when he signed his 260 pounds?
Yeah, and I can't say that I remember him being really big when he got to the big leagues in 05, but that was a big part of the story. Morrison strikes out. It was a very interesting article.
Sonny Gray with nice off-speed pitch. He's got the good curveball that dropped in perfectly. Took a little bit off the curveball. J-So backhand did drop it, so he had to tag Morrison. But as funny as the article explained, he was looking at pictures. He said, "That's Fat Felix. Yeah. Don't like him. He's 260, and I mean he's lost a lot of weight. He is very thin." Sonny Gray in the start against the Mariners at the Coliseum is Rasmus Ramirez, the opposite number. Sonny, like he did today, a couple of unearned runs in the second inning. It was a Derek Barton error, then a couple of hits after that to allow a couple of unearned runs to score. Gave up a run in the third, and Brandon Moss hit the 3-run home run to tie it, and the A's won it. But Sonny Gray, if he only gives up the one, that's fine, but his offense has to come back and score some runs. Sonny has the type of pitches to be able to go deep in a game. He said he's going to get some extra time because of the All-Star break, and great curveball and fastball in addition to changeup.
pitch, grounded into the shift as Punto comes in and fields it, and that's the second out.
This is the one he made following the start in Oakland. It was here and did a very good job. He struck out 9. He had everything working in that game, and so he's had success. Fastballs after fastballs, and then he went to the curveball after that, and there's the curveball. First 4 with fastballs, last 5 with the curveball. And Mike Blowers on the TV side for Seattle said, this kid today, he's got a pretty good curveball, right? I said, you know that. And his hitters never like to think about a 12-6 curveball and try to make some serious contact.
Very good in his first 4 career starts against the Mariners, and he's going to face them a lot in his career. 2-0 to Dustin Ackley.
The hitters in this division facing Sonny Gray might be thinking the same thing that others think about Felix Hernandez, who the A's have seen many, many times.
Got somebody. Was that the umpire?
It's the umpire's right shin guard or kneecap. Yeah, strap. Watch the right knee. It did, and that sound was the shin guard. Those are big shin guards too. That as Mike Malinsky pulled up the pant leg to restrap it after it knocked the strap loose.
Are the umpire's shin guards bigger than the catcher shin guards?
That one looked like it when he pulled up the pant leg, and of course it's hidden by the pant leg. That's why they blouse them out. They have a different pair of pants to wear when they're umpiring behind the plate versus on the bases. Blouses out a lot more for the big shin guards.
And it looks like, too, as it's a 2-out walk, it's like the umpire, I mean, they almost have like a small version of shoulder pads on.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yeah, that's...
those are maybe a little bit bigger than that.
It hit so hard it did dislodge the strap. But unlike the catchers who wear them outside, of course, have to hit, like John Jaso, umpires, and you're right, you can see the shoulder pads on Mike Malinsky, so it's a full chest protector, and then the shoulder pads underneath his shirt to protect the shoulders. And they hope a very, very well padded mask, as they are very open, especially the way they set up and in the slot, as they call it, with to the right of the catcher or left, depending on the hitter.
So who got hit this time?
Jaso. That was a glancing blow on the right shin after the ball hit the ground.
0-1 to Brad Miller. Miller 206 with 8 home runs.
Miller has a unique setup. Watch him put the bat in his left hand without his right hand. How about that? He does that every time. I don't know if he's trying to strengthen his left hand or left arm when he does that, but kind of a different setup for him because most hitters have both hands on the bat.
You know what's great about it is, why would he do it? But he has a very good reason for doing it.
Sure.
What it is, I don't know. But
it's probably all about concentration. But he does it every time. Taps. One hand on the bat. He's getting set. Has it just placed perfectly on the bat. Then when he puts his right hand underneath, he knows where the bat or the hand goes.
1-2 pitch. It's looped foul up over the A's dugout.
Maybe Bob Davidson questioned him last night. Why did he do that? And he threw him out when he gave him the wrong explanation.
No, he smiled.
He smiled naturally. Didn't really say anything.
Clearly, when you smile at an umpire, that's grounds for getting booted out of the game. No question about that. Another 1-2. Foul to the backstop. So an unearned run in the first inning for the Mariners on a Sonny Gray throwing error that allowed James Jones to go from first to third. It was a pickoff attempt. And then Cano with the soft ground out, and that got Jones home. So that's the only run in the game so far.
It's a high fastball target that Jaso just tried to give him. Told him now he's going to give the target late.
This little pop-up's going to be playable. Jaso has it side retired. So a 2-out walk, nothing else. We're moving to the third inning from Seattle. 1-0 Mariners. Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Sonoma Raceway. The NHRA Sonoma Nationals return to Sonoma Raceway July 25th through the 27th. Feel the horsepower. Third inning with the Mariners leading the A's 1-0. The flags tell you the standings, and a lot of ballparks do that. Fenway Park, they do it right on the scoreboard, right? Manually.
Did you ever, as a kid growing up, have all the banners of your favorite teams and all the teams, and you put them in your bedroom and put them according to
I
the
had the
standings?
little helmets. Like
Did you?
Yeah, and I lined them up.
You probably had ice cream in each one of those helmets, too.
Sure.
And you just saved
Didn't even clean the ice cream out. Just
to get the banners. But I like the cups of the ice cream. That's sure is pretty good.
So the Angels a game and a half out, the Mariners 7 out. And the Angels playing right now, and they lead the Rangers 5-4 in the fourth inning in Arlington. So they are going for the 4-game sweep of the Rangers. And just reading some of the articles from the first couple games, I guess it is smoking hot down there. First pitch was 98 degrees last night. Friday night it was very, very hot.
It is July in Texas and every place across the country, and some places it gets hotter than others. And Arlington, Texas, top of the list. Yeah, it's not good when first pitch 7:07, it's 98.
That's not good.
I just think there's humidity.
Punto, Perino, Gentry. Third inning. Punto hitting .212 with a homer and 11 RBIs. Chris Young, 13 pitches in the first inning, just 7 in the second inning. And there's the high fastball, and Punto swings and misses. That's the first strikeout for Chris Young.
Pinto usually waits a long time, and by the time he sees the pitch, it's out of the strike zone, but attempts to make contact anyway. He does foul tip it, but into the catcher's mitt.
So 1 out, and here's the switch inning. Andy Perino just called up with Callaspo being placed on the disabled list. First checked in with our good friend Johnny Dasco, the radio voice of the Sacramento River Cats. One of our good friends. And Johnny said, don't worry, Andy Perino can play anywhere.
Yeah.
And it was Johnny Dasco who gave him the nickname The Magician, because of his terrific defensive play at shortstop. He said Perino will be fine in the outfield. So we appreciate the scouting report from the great Johnny Dasco.
Well, Andy Perino, I can't remember when he was up before, but he's wearing the double ear flap, which as a switch hitter like Jed Lowry wears the double ear flap, but minor league they're required to wear the double ear flap. And I just cannot remember, but definitely today, notice that. Makes it easier. No, Jed Lowry being a switch hitter doesn't have to worry about changing helmets, and Perino, obviously a switch hitter as well.
Willie McGee used to do that.
That's right. And I still think base runners, when they slide head first or whatever, they don't have to worry about the side that's exposed. You have the single ear flap based on the. It's usually if a left-handed hitter on the right side and vice versa. And you see the protecting the left side as a right-handed hitter. But when you slide, you go in, you have both sides protected. Sometimes an errant throw maybe hits the player.
There's a drive toward the gap in left center field, and that's going to get down for a hit. Jones goes into a slide to cut it off, hustles it back in. But the magician, Andy Perino, has a 1-out double.
Chili Davis, and of course Andy Perino was asking about Chris Young, and Chili said stand upright because it's easy to go down to get a ball, but if you're crouching and you try to go up to get the high fastball, you're going to pop it up. So a little bit more upright, got on top of a medium depth fastball, and goes into second base easily, as that was a double with Jones cutting the ball off in left center. It's a slicing ball away from the center fielder. So a couple of Sundays ago, we saw Nate Fryman come up in Miami, hit a 3-run home run to help the A's win. Maybe Ender Perino can be the spark for the A's in this afternoon's game.
Gentry hits one high in the air, right center. Andy Chavez hustles over. He's got it. And Perino will tag and head to third, but that's the second out. One of those fly balls, Ray, which just, that one had a little carry to it, but not nearly enough.
And this is a pitcher's park, too. You hit a fly ball, kind of the lazy type fly ball. It's going to be run down by an outfielder, and especially with the hang time. It is a big park, unlike the Kingdome, which was demolished for a new football stadium, and this one was built after the '95 season. But it's a big yard, pitcher's park.
So here's Jaso. Chris Young at home, 5-2 with a 2.24 ERA.
And that's taking advantage of the outfield as a fly ball pitcher.
Makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
We talk about the Coliseum for pitchers and kind of the same. A little bit different from the Coliseum, and here this is just a big yard, especially center field, left center to right center. They did move the fences in a little bit.
In the air, tough play, tough son. Miller, the shortstop, grabs it, a step into foul territory. Side retired. So Perino, who doubled, ends up stranded at third. Bottom of the third coming up.
The 6:05 game against the Orioles. 15,000 fans will receive a 1989 throwback T-shirt. It's presented by Sungevity as part of the 1989 World Series Champs Reunion Weekend. Limited edition T-shirt features a hand-drawn caricature of some of the 1989 team's most recognizable players. For information and tickets, visit athletics.com/1989 or call 877-493-BALL. Fun weekend that's coming up next weekend. The All-Star break starts actually tomorrow for 4 days. The A's will resume play Friday, Saturday, Sunday against the Orioles in the anniversary, the reunion of the 25th 1989 World Champion A's. 25 years. Last World Championship in Oakland.
So that'll get all started Friday. And the A's have set their rotation for the second half, Ray. I don't know if you saw that or not, but Samardzija is going to lead things off on Friday. It'll go Samardzija, Hamill, Gray, Kazmir, and Jesse Chavez. That's the way it's going to be lined up starting the second half. Zunino is retired.
Talking to Scott Kazmir, and actually Jason Hamill mentioned game 2, and then Scott Kazmir said maybe a little bit extra rest because possibility of pitching the All-Star game. And it does allow what happened.
Oh, there's somebody out in right field. Something, they were checking on something right behind Lowry out in the grass in shallow left field. Security looked at it and they really must not have seen anything.
Well, the gentleman behind home plate down by the A's dugout actually came out to tell Mike Malinsky that something was out there. And I think Sonny Gray has proven he doesn't like the extra time.
No.
He had 10 days pitching down in Miami, and I think he's, of course, the concern, number of innings and starts, etc., for a first-time major league player in rotation. But Sonny Gray likes to pitch and takes care of himself to the point that he's always ready every fifth day.
118 innings coming into this start.
Probably Samardzija and Hamill were acquired. Of course, outstanding pitching coach, but two veterans that have been through the grind of a long season. And maybe as time goes in the second half, you might give an extra day or two to some of the pitchers. Kurt Young, a part of that '89 team. He and Mike Gallego on the A's coaching staff, so they'll be there representing the current A's and the '89 World Championship A's.
Stephen Vogt grabs it and steps on first. Good comparison, Tim Hudson and Sonny Gray. Most wins in their first 30 career games. Hudson had 15, Sonny Gray has 14. Interesting.
Well, I think in both cases you forget about the radar gun, you forget about a lot of things, just watch them pitch. And those are a couple of guys that you really have to watch pitch, because their size sometimes the detriment, but definitely not in those two guys. We saw Hudson for many years, and now seeing Sonny Gray first time, and we'll see him a long time.
James Jones singled and scored a run in the first inning. The only one. Receiver Tim Hudson today was added to the National League All-Star team. So congratulations to Hudson, his 4th All-Star game appearance.
Well, he'll just have to fish after the season, because he said if he wasn't selected, he thought maybe he would be, and congratulations in order, but he said if not, I'll go fishing.
Sounds good either way.
That's right. Hey, it's going to a state that has 10,000 lakes.
Yeah,
he may do fishing and the All-Star game. Late Paul Lindblad. He'd say, hey, we have a fishing outing set up. What time, Blatter? Oh, about 5 in the morning.
Yep, not going to go. Sorry. So James Jones strikes out. Good inning for Sonny Gray, and Stephen Vogt's going to lead things off. He's trailing 1-0.
Comet Bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio-free, MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit athletics.com today. How about download some runs? So accustomed to seeing runs and
struggle.
Yeah.
A's have scored 4 runs on 13 hits. Make that 4 runs on 12 hits so far in this series.
You know, we've talked about teams that how could they go into that kind of a slump and not score runs? Well, it happens, and you run up against good pitching. You get teams that are playing well. Frustrating for a manager, Bob Melvin, hitting coach Chili Davis, but you just keep plugging along and hope somebody can break out. And with the A's team, it's usually been 1 or 2 guys carrying everybody and then spreading around. Stephen Vogt has been that player for a while. So the other guys have to start picking up the slack.
Changeup that was outside to Vogt. 2-2 the count. That one driven toward left center field, but it hangs up for Ackley.
Even Andy Perino's double to left center was a fly ball. It just happened to find the gap in left center, slicing away from Jones in center. But those fly balls, they're going to be caught. They're just not being driven. And Stephen Vogt has hit 2 relatively lazy fly balls that have both been caught.
So I did a little research on your walks theory. Did that for you.
Okay.
Because you're my partner.
And you're good.
And I'm backing you up on your theory. And what we've been saying is we think pitchers are kind of going at A's hitters a little bit more lately. For the season, the A's are averaging 3.8 walks per game. But in the last 14 games, they've got a total of 28 walks. Yeah. So we're not saying it's just about the simple, hey, they're getting 2 less walks per game. It's the approach the pitchers are now maybe taking against the A's hitters, and maybe just saying we got to throw strikes to this guy. Otherwise, we'll be out of the game in the 5th inning. Cespedes is retired, and that's the second out.
And thing also, walks are good if you score the walks, but also by seeing a lot of pitches, you get in counts that are more favorable, because if a pitcher misses and it goes 3-1, 3-2, 2-0, become fastball counts, and hitters are much more aggressive. But if they get ahead, first pitch strikes. Iwakuma did last night, and Chili actually said after last night he thought Iwakuma had watched some video of himself and other pitchers who had tried to nibble in the first pitch, falling behind, and he went right after the hitters last night. A lot of 4-seam fastballs, got ahead, put the A's in the hole, and saw the result.
So it goes much deeper than just the 2 fewer walks that you're getting per game. Moss grounded out in the 2nd inning. A little bit outside.
Well, May the 5th, and Brandon Moss has hit 20 on the season. This one at the Coliseum, and that was a fastball, just about an 86-mile-an-hour fastball, and crushed over the out-of-town scoreboard.
And that one is ripped down the right field line, and it's just foul. Hit it a ton. John Tumpain, the first base umpire, had a good look at it.
Yeah, just watch it go in front of the foul pole, and that's not a good sign for a hitter. Boy, it would have been so appropriate. We're just talking about the home run off Young in Oakland, and that close to doing it here. Big blow last night for Brandon Moss in the 9th inning, a 2-run shot, but not enough for the A's.
This one's popped up. It'll reach the seats. So 2-2 to Moss. 20 homers, 65 RBIs. Baseball sitting just up the third base line.
sound of the boos over the third base dugout, somebody clanked it, and it ended up back on the field. That's why the fans were booing.
2-2 pitch. Struck him out. I believe that retires the side. And Mike Zunino said, I'm going to throw it around. Get everybody involved, but no need for that. It was the third out, so a couple of strikeouts in the game for Chris Young. Beer on this date in 1971, All-Star Reggie Jackson, a fourth-inning pinch hit home run off Doc Ellison. That was the ball that hit the power generator on top of the Tiger Stadium roof in right field. It was one of the classic moments in All-Star history, and listen to the voice of Kurt Gowdy.
Jackson.
There's a long fly. That one is going way off the roof. That hit the all over the roof here in Detroit. And Jackson nearly did it then out of the ballpark.
Kurt Gowdy off the roof. That's awesome. So that was the 42nd All-Star game, 1971 at Tiger Stadium. See, now, if you would have been catching, Ray, you would not have called that pitch.
I was supposed to be catching, but I was hurt and couldn't play. That was after.
You would have watched Reggie from the dugout.
And, that was a mistake of charging the mound that resulted in not participating in that All-Star game, which was against the Tigers when I guess, ill-advisedly charged the mound.
Cano wraps a single to center field.
Try to go off speed to Cano, who's very aggressive. Swung at the second pitch, his first at bat, first pitch in this one, and off-speed pitch, slower curveball that really didn't break that much, and Robinson Cano just keeps hitting. Uses the whole field. Jumped on a fastball from Jim Johnson last night and hit it in the seats, which turned out to be a huge home run.
So here's Seager. So in that 1971 All-Star game, everybody remembers the Reggie Jackson home run for very good reasons, Ray, but 6 future Hall of Famers homered in that game.
Right.
Reggie Jackson, Frank Robinson, and Harmon Killebrew for the American League, and Johnny Bench, Hank Aaron, and Roberto Clemente for the National League. The American League won the game 6-4. Frank Robinson was the MVP, but the ball was flying on Tiger Stadium.
Well, July in Detroit, we talk about the heat, humidity in Texas, but that was the great old stadium. And that I think they had home run derbies then. Just imagine. There have been balls leaving Tiger Stadium. Actually, there were some that left during the regular season.
I don't think it would have been a whole lot of an issue. Ball sailing out of that ballpark. Seager bounces it, and it scoots under the glove of Lowry, and that's going to allow Cano to head to third, and it's 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Off the crack of the bat, it looked like a play Lowry was going to make, and it just went right under his glove.
Well, he might have been thinking about what he's going to do once he caught the ball, but could not. Looked like he was maybe going to spin and try to get Seager at first, and just did not completely go down and catch the ball. He had thought about what he was going to do, but he never got to the point where he caught it. So Sonny Gray needs to go back to the strikeout pitch and then maybe try to get the double play. He did strike out Morris in his first at bat. That was leading off the second.
Shift is on for Morrison, and the first pitch is a strike. Cano at third, Seager at first. Outfield fairly deep for Logan Morrison. And he hits that one to Gray, and Cano gets back to third. They get the out at second, and Morrison safe at first. Cano ventured off a little bit, and Gray took a look at him, but Cano was able to get back. So Gray spun around and got the out at second.
Well, he is a great athlete, and this ball gets by him. It may be in center field, but he decided to make sure he'd look back, Cano. And I think that's the confidence that Sonny Gray has in himself, to look back to make sure he was not going to give up the run. And if he just got the force at second, which is all he got, he can either get a strikeout or maybe a double play ground ball to get out of the inning. The ball gets by him, even if it's a double play, a run's going to score. And I think runs are premium right now, so maybe not wanting to give the run up.
First pitch to Smoke is blocked nicely by Jason.
Well, it's a great job of John Jaso with a curveball, and
that was a heck of a
yeah, it got under the glove in the midsection. So that is a true block, using his body to do it.
Three strikeouts and one walk for Sonny Gray. He needs to strike out here. And it's 1-1. Smoke grounded out to second in the second inning. He's 1 for 10 in his career against Sonny Gray.
The ball is hit to Punto with Lowry on the first base side of the bag. See where he's playing. It has to be Donaldson, or Donaldson's on the third base side, but Lowry has to get to the bag, and they're playing for two. So if the ball is hit in that direction, Lowry has to bust it to get to second base, and Punto has to make the throw. All things happen when you employ a shift.
And home plate umpire says you went around. Mike Malinsky did not check. He called it himself. So the count is 2-2.
You recognize the curveball, thought he had held up, and you make the decision a little bit farther than Seager. So maybe Malinsky said, if I defer to Bob Davidson, he's going to call it anyway, so I'll just call it. But got the good curveball for a check swing, and another hard curveball might get the strikeout.
Broken bat as Donaldson comes in. He grabs it right in the cut of the grass, and that's the second out.
As good as a strikeout, you jam a hitter, and it keeps the ball on the infield.
So Ackley steps in. Jaso's going to go through a few signs with runners at first and third.
That's the biggest at bat of the day for Sonny Gray. After getting 2 outs with runners at first and third, he's got to complete the deal and get the third out.
Ackley walked in the second inning. Pops that one foul. After facing the second level.
Said kind of slashes the ball.
Yes, he does.
And just almost like he's headed to first base and slashes and figure he's going to hit the ball the opposite field. They're playing in that direction.
And that one hit high and foul, and it's 0-2.
Watch his body move and towards first base and catch the ball a little bit back in the strike zone. So the old saying, don't want to speed up his bat because he is a little bit tardy with a good fastball.
0-2 pitch. Late again. Fouled left side. So Sonny Gray trying to get out of a first and third nobody out jam.
Sonny's thrown him 3 fastballs and he's been late on all 3, and here comes the curveball.
That's rolled foul. So the battle continues.
Everything's been away from Ackley, and as he opens up, he just slaps the ball towards the left side and into the seats, and it's always a temptation to try to throw inside, maybe catch the inside corner or bounce a curveball, and John Jason's already done a remarkable job blocking one curveball in the dirt.
That's hit very high down the right field line, but well foul. Plenty of distance. Angels continue to lead the Rangers. It's now 7-4 in the 5th inning. So the count has been 0-2 to Ackley for quite a while.
Oh, 2 and fouling off 4, and he's been around the plate with all 4 pitches that is fouled. He's not really gotten one out of the strike zone.
Runner goes, and fake throw to second, so Morrison will have a stolen base. So second and third now.
Well, this is a pre-planned play. If he takes off, fake the throw, and look to Cano, because sometimes with the action of a catcher throwing, the runner from third takes off, but Cano was going to stay there and let Seager coast into second base.
So the 1-2 to Ackley. Swung and miss, struck him out. So Gray does a nice job of getting out of the jam, and the Mariners strand a pair. We're headed to the 5th. 1-0 Seattle. AT&T Fan Photo of the game. Tweet your photo to CSNCA Fan Photo. Make sure your name is down in your hometown. You're getting a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Today's fan photos from Richard and Robin Paloma from Tracy. And they are indeed sporting the 70s throwback jersey. So we appreciate the photo. Here at Safeco Field in Seattle, it's 1-0 Mariners. And it's the top of the 5th inning. So Donaldson, Lowry, and Punto to hit against the big right-hander Chris Young, who has allowed just one hit. Perino's one-out double in the 6th inning. That would hit high in the air, shallow left, and Ackley grabs it, and that's out number 1.
Just a hit me fastball, and he hit it straight up. Donaldson lined out his first at bat, but this one on a 2-0, just sometimes maybe hitters get a little too aggressive when they know a fastball is coming. And it's a Donaldson who wants to hit one out of target field in the All-Star Game home run derby. I think they try to hit one, and the seat's there.
That one may get down, and it will. It drops fair. Ackley has a little trouble picking it up. Lowry with a double.
And that's the way you hit fly balls. Line drives, and it's a little bit away from Lowry. Went with it perfectly, and it did slice, but stayed in play. It looked like he wanted to try to cut off the ball, but it got down on the corner, and he had a little trouble picking the ball up, but Lowry's going to settle for 2.
So, tying run at second base, and here's Nick Punto. Punto struck out swinging in the 3rd. 2 strikeouts for Young. The first pitch is a strikeout. Drive toward right center. Jones on the run, and he's going to track it down. James Jones showing off the speed as that ball was hit pretty well.
Just too much hang time in the air, though, with the speed of the outfielders. And once again, a ball hit sharply, but stayed up in the air too long. If it hooked it a little bit more, another double in the gap, but it just stayed up. And you see where Jones is playing, had a long run, but those long strides, able to track it down plenty of time. Jed Lowry, actually, he played it correctly as he wanted to make sure his halfway could score if the ball had dropped. Too late to go back and tag, still take a single to score him.
So see if Perino can come through. First pitch is high. Perino with a double to left center. That was in the 3rd inning. Young is becoming one of the best free agent signing stories of the 2014 season for anybody.
It looked like he wanted to wait, and he did, but just a little bit late on the swing of the fastball. And he signed so late, he's not even a media guy. March 27.
He did not pitch last year due to injuries. He went to spring training with the Nationals as a non-roster invitee. He was released by Washington, and on March 27th he signed with the Mariners, and nobody thought a whole lot of it at the time. And he's 8-5 with a 3.08 ERA coming into the start.
And let's not forget it was Randy Wolf who had the contract, the left-hander, that they decided against keeping him because he had a clause in his contract, and he had signed a team-friendly contract. But they were afraid that if he pitched, and he had pitched well, And they let him go, and that's when they signed Bush right-hander.
So 2-2 the count to Perino. There's that high fastball. Perino just got a piece of it.
Up, and Perino doing what Chili Davis instructed, stand upright, and makes it a little bit easier at least to catch up to the high fastball. That one was up around the letters. Fortunately, he fouled it. And now choking up a little bit with a couple of strikes.
Lowry, the runner at second, 2 outs. Just to our left. .61 pitches for Chris Young as we're in the 5th. He's running the game an unearned run. Same thing, high fastball, and Perino just got a piece of it. Young is ready. Quick glance at Lowry. Pitch is a fastball that's a bit high.
Well, it was up and it was a little bit away, and everybody, especially the pitcher, thought it was strike 3 as Hussein started to head to the dugout.
Pitch outside and a good at bat by Andy Perino. So that's the first walk issued by Chris Young.
Craig Gentry, like Robinson Cano, has been very aggressive, swinging early in the count, and he did it his first at bat, flew out to right field. Just that with a couple of runners on base and pretty good speed, trying to get a ball and hit it on the line like Lowry did.
Gentry, a fly ball to right field in the 3rd inning. He's 0 for 7 in this series. First pitch is high. So a quick meeting between pitcher and catcher.
Maybe Chris Young told Mike Zunino, I'm trying to pitch up in that area. You're asking me to get the ball down. I don't want to. Because he's a high fastball, fly ball pitcher, and usually it's that type of pitch that results in a fly ball, a lazy fly ball.
There's a shot to center field, a base hit. Here comes Lowry. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it is just late. And the A's have tied it here in the 5th inning.
Great discipline, perfect hitting by Craig Gentry. Got on top of the higher fastball. So a big 2-out hit, and that's a huge run because it just ties the game, and that's the great thing. Look at him hitting down on the ball instead of hitting under it. And straight away center field, and with 2 outs, Jed Lowry did not have to wait, was not being held on. And Jones, while he made a strong throw, maybe just the fact that it's 2 outs on the move and no chance to throw out Lowry at the plate. That was a huge hit. See the excitement of the dugout because the A's came up with a hit with 2 outs and they drive in a run on top of it.
So here's Jaso, and the first pitch is high. So Gentry gets his 7th RBI of the year, and it's good enough to tie up the game. Jaso chased it.
As we have known, John Jaso caught for the Mariners before he came to the Athletics, called Felix Hernandez's perfect game. He'd like to have a little payback to his former team. The Rays, the Mariners, and now the Athletics. Jaso, who is once again leading off and catching today.
Close. So a double, a walk, a single. Good enough for A's run here in the 5th inning.
You're right about the Perino at bat. That was a great one. 9 pitches and ended up drawing the walk.
And don't forget about Sonny Gray getting out of the first and third.
Absolutely.
So, little momentum shift in the last inning of this game.
Well, in the inning also, the hitter right now is behind the plate and blocked the ball. Remember the great block he had with that smoke at the plate. Cano at third.
That one flipped to left field. That's going to be a base hit. Ackley charges. His throw to the plate. One hop, but it's a bit wide. And Perino scores, and the A's take a 2-1 lead. So Jaso with an RBI single.
I don't know if Perino's going to make it. If that throw's on the line, he's out. But fortunately, up the first base line, and Jaso just flipped the ball into left field. So Jaso in the bottom half of last inning saved a run. This time he's driven in a run. And actually a strong throw up the line. If the ball is on the plate, Zunino's got Perino. I guess if your name ends in a vowel, you've got a chance one way or the other. Tag him out or score. And John Jaso, a big hit with 2 outs. So back-to-back 2-out hits.
Things go up as the lineup in the game goes on. And here's Vogt. Gentry at second, Jaso at first. This pitch is in for a strike. So 3 hits and a walk now in the inning. So the first 4 innings, Chris Young was terrific. Just 1 hit for the A's through those first 4 innings, but a different story here in the 5th. Reached for it a little bit, fouled it straight back. So Young ahead in the count 1-2. And Farquhar starts to throw. Bullpen hasn't been used much, really, either team, but the Mariners have not had to use the bullpen a whole lot. That one tapped toward Miller, who goes to his right. Not an easy play, but he throws on the run to get Stephen Vogt. Side retired, but the A's get 2 runs on 3 hits. So we are headed to the bottom of the 5th. The A's now have a 2-1 lead.
And there's the air, and it's going to contribute to the only run scored so far by the Mariners. And Jones going all the way to third base. He would score on the slow hit ball by Cano. Sonny Gray, a good play over to first base, and then Craig Gentry in the top half of the inning, scoring Jet Lowry, who had a one-out double, and then John Jaso with a bloop to left field, enough to score Andy Perino with a throw just up the first baseline, enough. And Andy Perino could score the go-ahead run. That's where it stands 2-1. As the only error, of course, the A's on Sonny Gray's throw to first base. Jaso with a big two-out hit, like Craig Gentry, and Sonny Gray has the lead.
And we'll see if he can get a shutdown inning here. He will face Miller, Zunino, and Endy Chavez, 8, 9, and 1. First pitch, outside corner for a strike. Miller fouled out in the second inning. Right at Vogt, who grabs it, steps on the bag, 1 out.
I think you said it best, Cap, about the bullpens, both actually. The bullpen used by the Mariners on Thursday, as they started the bullpen instead of an actual starter, and the A's back into the bullpen. Smarja went the distance on Friday night, losing effort, but bullpen not used, and last night the back end was not used, so all hands on deck because there's 4 days off and do not have to worry about holding back anybody. They've had the rest, and might even help Melvin and Kurt Young decide to go to the bullpen a little bit early because of the strength of the pen. We'll see as Sonny Gray continues to pitch well. We'll stay in as long as possible.
There's Zunino, takes inside. Zunino grounded out to short. He did not play in last night's game. Jesus Sucre got the start. Swing and a miss. Zunino with 13 home runs on the year.
Comments about Sucre, who started last night, supposedly a better defensive catcher than John Buck, which I thought the veteran Buck would have had a better status than that, but evidently not. Young man had to catch a lot of splitters last night from Iwakuma.
Two and one. I would guess splitter, the toughest pitch to catch, probably, right?
Well, if it goes down, straight down, it's not that bad. But listen, you're going to see it, and maybe you'll hear it, because this ball right off the face mask of John Jaso, and in real speed, it sounded worse than it actually looked there. So let's hope he's okay. Remember, last year, unfortunately, had a ball hit off his face mask, and never really recovered the rest of the season. Listen to this. And I think he just kind of went down because you have it happen again after you missed 2 or 3 months last year. You missed the end of the season and postseason because of concussion symptoms, more than the 7-day disabled is for that.
3-2 pitch, a 3-2 breaking ball, and Zunino strikes out.
And that's when Sonny Gray is at his best. Whenever he starts to throw the hammer 3-2, that means the hitters say, you got to be kidding me. He's going to throw this 3-2. Not only does he get the swing and miss, but it's a strike even if he doesn't swing. Hitters are fooled usually as they're looking fastballs. As I'm sure Zunino was, it'd have been smart to do that. But you get the curveball. Sometimes you hold up, but he throws it for a strike anyway.
Here's Endy Chavez with 2 outs here in the 5th inning. First pitch a bit high. Chavez is 0 for 2. He's popped out to short, grounded to first. He was 2 for 4 with a walk last night. Getting a chance to play quite a bit for the Mariners.
They call him the table setter, and that's what he and Jones try to do for Robinson Cano and then Seager in the middle part of the lineup.
That was ripped toward right center. Moss on the move, and Moss is going to get there. He makes the catch in deep right center field, side retired. So Sonny Gray has a 3-up, 3-down inning. We're headed to the 6th inning. It's 2-1, the A's lead.
The 1989 World Series championship team Friday, July 18th and Saturday, July 19th. Joined by A's legends Rickey Henderson, Dennis Eckersley, Jose Canseco, Dave Henderson, Dave Parker, Carter Lansford, Hall of Fame manager Tony La Russa, among others. There will be autograph sessions on Friday and Saturday with proceeds benefiting the Angelman Syndrome Foundation. For information and tickets, visit athletics.com/1989.
Cespedes to lead things off for the Athletics. He'll be followed by Moss and Donaldson. So the three of the Athletics All-Stars, the three guys in the middle of the lineup, all headed to Minneapolis after the game.
He's thinking with Robinson Cano and King Felix Hernandez, Seager, and Fernando Rodney added late. I wonder which one provides the charter. Probably Cano or Felix. I think Felix had been having the charters, private planes for the All-Star because he'd been going quite a while. Robinson Cano, he could do it. He's got Kazmir helping the Athletics, but it's nice that they don't have to worry about the flights. I think one of the things now seems the All-Star games, the private terminals have a whole bunch of planes.
Yeah, I bet they do.
That are just waiting.
That one is lifted high in the air to shallow left. Ackley waits for it to come down, and Cespedes is 0 for 3.
I think there was a time, Cap, when there were so many private planes that the players would play their 3 or 4 innings and then leave. And I think Derek Jeter, who was playing in his last All-Star game, who always seems to stay anyway, said, hey, guys, we're out of the game. We're going to stay and support our teammates.
Right.
And, you know, those planes will be waiting whenever the game's over. And there'll be plenty of time to get where you're going, but let's stay and support, especially now since the game means so much for home field advantage in the World Series.
Why not stick around, right? Outside, 2-0. Moss with a ground out and a strikeout. And he launches this one to right, and that baby's gone. Long home run for Moss to give the A's a 3-1 lead.
Have you felt like me? You've been waiting for that? Mm-hmm. It's just, he's come so close. He broke his bat last night. Almost hit one, even with a broken bat. Hit one off Iwakuma in the ninth. And you talk about a high, towering, majestic fly ball that as soon as everybody knew it was gone. Any Chavez probably just want to turn around and watch it. Brandon Moss knew it was gone. And that's a target field home run derby shot there. That's one of those high fly balls. Many, many rows deep in left right field. That's a big one to give the A's an extra run also. Number 21 for Brandon Moss. Just missed one his last at bat. Just hooked foul. This with no chance to go foul.
Another ball in the air. This one toward Ackley. He's got it.
11th fly ball out. Recorded by Chris Young against the Athletics, but that long fly was not caught that Brandon Moss just hit.
Farquhar was up last inning. Chris Young threw 25 pitches. The A's scored twice, and they got a run here on the Moss home run in the 6th. Lowry doubled and scored in the 5th inning. Close pitch, bit outside. So the A's bats have come to life here in the last 2 innings after being quiet the first 4. It's up down there.
Strike, Chris. He's ready to call on it.
Lowry has his average up to 240. Little flare. Miller out, and Miller is going to get there, and he makes the catch. Side. Retired. So Moss with a long home run, his 21st home run of the year. So bottom of the 6th coming up. It's now the A's 3 and the Mariners 1. Video, folks, this is the 1975 All-Star game. The A's had 7 All-Stars, and they are looking good, folks. Joe Rudy, you see the starters. Tennis, Campaneris, Jackson, Rudy, and Vida Blue, they were all starters. Claudell Washington, how about that? Just a youngster, Raleigh Fingers. So 7 of them in Milwaukee. 5 of them were starters.
And you notice they wore the gold, the green, and the white. The home team, you could wear anything you want, and the A's had that, and the A's could have. It's a home team. I don't know what colors the players will be wearing, but there's going to be 6 of them, and that's going to be the greatest thing as well. So
Guys will have a good time. Sonny Gray now has a 3-1 lead and faces the heart of the order. Jones, Cano, Seager, and if anybody were to get on, Morrison. Jones singled and scored in the first, struck out in the third. Vogt has it, flips to Gray, and that's out number 1. So a big out with Cano coming up.
You know, Stephen Vogt made that play very, very nicely, but that has to be a very tough play for a player playing first base who does not play a lot, because the tendency to throw overhand, you want to try to throw underhand as much as possible. This is a little bit distance away from first base, especially going to his right, but you start going towards the bag and then feed the pitcher, so you feed him, leading him to the bag, not behind him. And the idea is to get the momentum going towards the bag, so Stephen Vogt able to make the underhand flip. With Sonny Gray, a very good athlete, getting in the bag quickly enough to make it a very easy play.
So 1 away, here's Cano. Cano takes a good rip at the first pitch. Cano with an RBI ground out in the first and a single in the fourth. Cano's batting average now at .335. Missed that one, and the count is 0-2.
It's a hard curve, and the always aggressive Cano, especially in the Mariners uniform, and he starts his swing probably looking for something other than the great curveball he got from Sonny Gray.
Two pitch. Good pitch though on 0-2. Fastball just a bit off the plate.
Jason wanted to go back to the curveball after throwing a very good one. And the thing that Jason does so well, and he's talked about how he will call back-to-back off-speed pitches and sometimes 3 in a row, as he knows as a hitter, hitters don't look for it.
Seager to follow here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And toward Donaldson, who backhands nicely, straightens up, fires it across. Cano is out, 2 outs.
Good baseman, Seager.
8 in a row retired by Sonny Gray.
Josh Donaldson makes this play look so easy, and look at the distance that it has to throw it. And it gets Cano by a couple of steps. That's a long throw.
Yeah, that is.
If you've been in that area, and you have to think all the way across the diamond, but look at his ability to catch and be very accurate with his throws as a catcher, and it's just made him a very good third baseman as well. But to handle some of the hot shots the way he does, he makes it look so easy.
First pitch to Seager is in the dirt. Seager has a base hit in today's game. He also struck out. .78 pitches for Sonny Gray. Looking for his 10th win. Right off the foot. And Seager staying down for a little bit.
No protection either, and so the fastball inside hit it straight down, and he was trying to get out of the way and got him in the right shin. And he's getting ready to get on a plane, follow the game to go to Minneapolis, and then this happens. Wow! Right below the right knee on the bone.
Ice pack.
Oof.
Mike Malinsky, the home plate umpire, is going to give him a little extra time, which umpires usually do for a catcher or a hitter, which is kind of a common courtesy.
I still don't think there's enough protection for a hitter in the lower extremities when a ball is hit that hard. I mean, the ball is coming at about 94 miles an hour, hits the bat, goes straight off your right shin.
Full shift on for Seager. And he rips one toward the right field corner. Cross over to cut it off. And Seager's going to make a big turn, and now he's going to have to hustle back. He went about a third of the way to second base. So Seager is 2 for 3.
Well, after the fastball fouling off his shin, came back with a curveball. And Brandon Moss, an excellent job cutting the ball off because the 2 out. Seager thinking he wants to get to second base. All of a sudden, the right shin doesn't hurt as much as it did, and Moss made a strong throw. Of course, a natural outfielder, so not surprised with his strong arm.
So here's Morrison, who is 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice. Outside. That game in Arlington is now Angels 8, Rangers 6 in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Rangers scored a couple runs in the bottom of the 6th to get it close, so keep a close eye on that one as it heads into the late innings. 8-6 in the 7th. Two 2-0. Fastball high. Sonny Gray slowing things down a little bit, so is Morrison. Morrison's got a home run in this series. It was on Friday night. Close pitch, and it's 3-0.
Well, he was sitting fastball as he did Friday night when he hit the home run. That's the curveball that, according to Mike Malinsky, stayed up a little bit too high. You know, as much as he crouches down, Malinsky might be looking at his head being the top of the strike zone, because that pitch did not look to be much higher than his head. He definitely crouches down a long way.
And that would call the strike. If there's such thing as a makeup call, that may have been it right there.
I think you're right, because the 2-0 looked like a pretty good pitch. This one looked like it was taken off outside.
So the count 3-1.
That was Morrison's head bobbing up and down, saying, "I apologize for questioning your call.
Don't throw me out."
Curveball. So he's going back to it on 3-1.
And that was a good one. Snaps right in there for a strike. 3-2.
And boy, as a hitter, you're thinking, he just threw me a 3-1 curveball. How can I look for a fastball 3-2? Because he was looking fastball, got the curveball. And now Morrison, you always like as a pitcher to get the hitter in between what you're thinking about. And we've seen him already drop the hammer on Zunino, 3-2, the good curveball.
And he does it again, and it's hit hard, and it hit the runner. A huge break for the A's. Seager slams his helmet down. It hits the runner, and that means Morrison will get credited with a hit, but it's also an out, and that ends the inning. So how about that? It would have been first and third, baby. Kyle Seager, not a happy camper. He's the runner at first.
Yeah, he's going, and it's a base hit, but it's off Seager, and that's an out. Recorded as a 6 unassisted. Is actually he tried to jump. He was looking back, and it got him in the backside and just below the 15. So he got in the right shin and the back, and he's probably more upset. Definitely more upset. Although Morrison does get the base hit, but Seager is out. That's a great way to end the inning. Because you're right, it would have been first and third.
I think it would have been, yeah. I think so. As the runner was going with the count 3-2. So I don't think there's any question. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. Danny Farquhar comes in. First chance to see him in this series. And he's become a pretty good reliever. 1-1, 2.93 ERA. More strikeouts than innings pitched. Always something to look at with a reliever.
Well, 3 appearances against the A's, and you're right, he's done an exceptional job. Just 1 run in those 3 appearances, and he's 6 strikeouts.
Punto goes after the first pitch, and Ackley gets over. He's got it. So Chris Young goes 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and he was rolling along through 4 innings, but a couple of 2-out hits, and that may be what we're talking about when this game is over, because it was 1-0, and Gentry had a 2-out RBI single, and then so did Jaso.
Yeah.
So Farquhar takes over for Young. First pitch to Perino is a bit inside.
See Farquhar, not quite like Iwakuma. There's a little hesitation before he delivers the pitch. There's another member of the Athletics. Something about the Blue Jays and former Blue Jays becoming Athletics for about a couple of days, and then they go back. Yeah. Encarnacion, Farquhar, a couple of those players.
And Perino has 2 hits.
Well, it's coming up once again. The 15th annual A's Root Beer Float Day is set for Wednesday, July 23rd. A's players, coaches, local celebrities, and more serve fans root beer floats for $2 each. Proceeds benefit JDRF. Sugar-free floats. I'd say that fast. Sugar-free floats will be available. Special thanks to Dryer's Ice Cream, Zevia, the zero-calorie soda, and A&W Root Beer. For product donations, admission is free with a game ticket.
Don't say it fast.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't.
Get you in trouble.
It did.
So here's Gentry. So Andy Perino, a double, a walk, and a single, and he has scored a run.
He's playing like one of the 6 All-Stars or 7 All-Stars on this team.
Strike called on front court slider, maybe a cutter. Zanino with a nice block.
He's got a good changeup, which he shows and throws like a splitter. Goes down. He's got the curveball and the cutter that you mentioned. 2 and 4-seam fastball, and at one time the closer for the Mariners. And now that is Chef Rodney.
Gentry down the right field line, but it's going to be foul.
Rodney's talking about taking some extra arrows to target field.
He said I'm having a good time.
Yeah, and have a good time. And he said regardless of the inning he pitches, if he does, he'll shoot the arrow. And that's his signature finale after recording a save. I don't know what he does when he blows a save. He hasn't won that many. I'm sure he doesn't shoot the arrow.
Gentry's 2-out hit in the 5th inning. Lined one right up straight to center field.
It's Fernando Rodney. All you have to do is take a look at his cap. Says it all. I mean, he and CC Sabathia probably have caps turned aside more than anybody.
Another foul ball right side. Moves a little bit more every year, we think. His hat's looking at us. And he's looking straight ahead. I think that's pretty much straight away for Gentry. And the swing and a miss, 94 miles an hour. Farquhar just has trouble throwing a ball straight.
Yeah.
And he's got lots of movement and pretty good velocity.
Well, it does have a cutter, and this acts like a cutter that kind of moves late. Always tough on a hitter when you know the pitcher throws and it is late movement.
Brandon Marr and Charlie Furbush. So Jaso steps in. Jaso had a 2-out hit in that 5th inning that knocked in a run. See, there's a 89-mile-an-hour pitch, but had that late movement.
You see John Jaso wearing sunglasses when he actually is wearing them catching, which helped him with a pop-up behind the plate. Sometimes catchers, because of the mask, they're not able to wear sunglasses, but they have the ones now that are close to the face. You can hide them behind the mask. Zanino does not need them. Actually, this is a perfect day for playing baseball. You don't have to worry about background, shadows, sun, anything. You get overcast skies.
Yeah, it's not humid really at all.
I remember too, they've got the real dark background hitter's eye here, they call it. They had a lot of different types of things that we're trying to do to make it easy for the hitters to see the ball. Just found.
So the count 2-2 to Jaso. Jaso has also grounded out and popped out, and that one, it hit him, and it did. So Jaso is hit by a pitch. So 2-on, 2-out for the A's.
Well, he tried to get out of the way as the ball just ran in, kept running, and got him on the jersey, the uniform, bloused out, and I guess, yes, that's the best way to get hit. Don't feel it. It scares you when it's coming at your rib cage, but did not quite do it. So Furbush probably to face Vogt.
So indeed, Furbush is coming in. So when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. Furbush in, Farquhar out.
The 1:05 p.m. game Saturday, August 2nd against the Kansas City Royals. That afternoon, 10,000 fans will receive a La Potencia t-shirt presented by NetSuite, which pays tribute to A's left fielder and 2013 Home Run Derby champion Yoenis Cespedes. For information and tickets, visit athletics.com/1989, or you can call 877-493-BALL.
So back here at Safeco Field, the A's were trailing 1-0 after 4 innings, but they got 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. And a chance for more here in the 7th. 2 on, 2 out. Tomorrow night, the Home Run Derby with Cespedes and Donaldson teeing off for the American League. That's always fun to watch.
I think it's just tomorrow night so quickly. It's upon us.
So Furbush comes in for his 38th appearance, and he's facing Vogt. And first pitch is outside. Vogt hitless today, so try to keep that hitting streak going. It's at 12 games. Couple of fly balls and a ground out.
Bush has a good fastball, low to mid-90s, but he likes to throw the big slurve and sometimes harder curveball to lefties.
Lofted into the air, shallow left field. Ackley coming in toward the line, and he makes the running catch. Side retired. So Furbush gets Vogt. The A's strand a pair. 7th inning stretch from Seattle, with the A's leading 3-1. The All-Star game on Tuesday night. These two teams well represented, obviously. Bay Area well represented, so it'll be good time this week, and then back to work on Friday night. And for the A's, they will open it up at home. The Baltimore Orioles in town. Mariners will be in Anaheim. 3-game series against the Angels, and then they'll come right back home. Checking those second half schedules, the A's have 36 home games and 31 road games. The Angels, 34 home games, 33 road games. And the Mariners, which we mentioned earlier, they have 31 home games and 36 road games. So from a home road standpoint, which doesn't always make a huge difference, but in this case, look at it anyways. A's have a little bit more of a home friendly second half.
You see the record for the Athletics in the 2014 season with the 58 wins, trying to make it 59 today, which would match the 90 season. 35 with 59 wins, 71-60 wins. But one of the things, Cap, they talk about, and with the home schedule, and I've heard some writers already talk about, well, the A's are playing in the second half out of the division, sub 500. You forget about the sub 500 and 500 clubs, because the great late Vince Lombardi, on any day, any Sunday, anything can happen in baseball. You cannot just assume because a team has a certain record that they're going to be a pushover. It's never going to happen that way. The real positive for the Athletics is the finish on the East Coast.
Into the glove of Punto, a shot by Smoke.
And the shift worked against somebody else, because Brandon Moss hit into the shift with Cano in right field. Punto played perfectly. That's robbing Smoke of a base hit, and the way he plays and has struggled. He needed something like that, but hit it right to him. The A's go to Atlanta, Kansas City, Chicago, and that's as far east as they go. Everything else, I guess, Houston, a little south of there, but back in the division and on the West Coast. I like to avoid those East Coast time zones.
1-0 to Ackley. Right to Lowry. And that's 2 outs. Yeah, the Mariners, as we said, well, they have more road games in the second half, but they have a much better road record than at home. So there's so many factors that you could put into it. And you're right, when it's all said and done, I don't think it matters at all.
I don't either. And I think we're going to be sitting here in mid to late September and start looking at the scoreboard and everything. And that's when you really think about it, because it's a long season. You play the games, try to win as many as possible, try to get a lead. It really always comes down to September towards the end and being able to get into postseason.
Now, maybe what does matter is those head-to-head matchups.
Absolutely.
And the A's and the Angels still have 10 games left. 6 in Oakland, 4 in Anaheim. So 3 series, including a 4-game set down in Southern California. The A's and these Mariners, after today, will have just 6 games left. So 10 left with the Angels. 5-ball center field, and Sonny Gray is going to have a nice tidy 3-up, 3-down inning, and he does. So we're moving to the 8th inning. Just 7 pitches for Gray in that inning, and the A's lead 3-1. To find the best deal in Bay Area baseball, Comcast Sportsnet California's Authentic Fan Fridays at the Coliseum. Next Friday, we're going to get a ticket in our value deck behind home plate, a grab bag of cool prizes, a cheer card, and a $6 food and drink voucher, all for one great price. The best deal in Bay Area baseball is Comcast Sportsnet's Authentic Fan Fridays. Log on to csncalifornia.com for details. Here in Seattle, the A's trying to finish up the first half of the season on a winning note. They have a 3-1 lead. Top of the 8th inning when it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. And Marr comes in. Now the numbers may not impress you a whole lot, but the Mariners think they may be onto something here, Ray. You saw Mauer last year. He made 14 starts and had an ERA of 6.5. And this year, made some starts as well, and just not a lot of success. But recently, they've put him in the bullpen, and they like what they see. He's a very hard thrower. He's a big, strong guy, and
well, he's got 96 with a fastball, and sometimes even higher than that. So a good fastball that as a starting pitcher, and there's your 98 right there.
So maybe something to think about going forward for these Mariners, having this guy in the bullpen. I think they like the idea. 99 miles an hour, so he can let it go a little bit out of the bullpen.
That's right. That's the biggest thing. You don't have to worry about holding anything back and trying to pace yourself. Just air it out. Shook off a slider to throw the 98.
Well, as a starter this year, 7 games, his ERA was 7.5. As a reliever, and it's not a lot, but 9 2/3 innings, he has not allowed a run. Seager slides to his left, and the struggles continue for Yoenis Cespedes. He is 0 for 4 today.
I think your reasoning, he's going to really liven things up tomorrow night with the home run derby, and he's going to come back next Friday, and who knows what's going to happen.
I hope so. He's now 3 for his last 44. So that'll bring up Moss, who has homered in consecutive games. Fastball, swing and a miss, 97 miles an hour. It's one thing great about pitching, Ray, if you got a guy who has a starter, got good stuff, but a little inconsistent. Hey, you can always try him in the bullpen.
That's right.
Or vice versa, I guess, which you see happen sometimes.
Something great about 93 pitches. That was Gregerson. Of course, he has been the 8th inning pitcher for the Athletics. And Sonny has usually been in that low to mid 90s range, and he's come out after 7 innings. Well, with Chris Young, Brandon Moss pretty much provided his own power. Fastball 2-0, and he crushed it. And Brandon Mauer, he throws a 96-98. All Brandon Moss has to do is make the good connection. But Brandon Moss, 21 home runs, 66 driven in.
Two pitch and a good one. 89 miles an hour, dropped it right on the outside corner. Oakland A's history, guys with 20 homers and 65 RBIs at least by the break. Giambi, Moss, and Donaldson. Moss and Donaldson this year. Well, Giambi had 78 RBIs at the break in 2000. Fastball, little strike call. Donaldson is 0 for 3.
You're looking at a future closer in Brandon Mauer.
I mean, I remember him being a hard thrower, but
right.
you know, 94, 95. This is a It's a little bit of a different deal here for this big fella. 99 miles an hour.
Sounds like 99.
Sounded high.
Nino's got a nice catcher's mitt. Pitchers like those kind of mitts that pop like that. Especially someone like Chris Young, who throws about 20 miles slower than this guy.
2-2 now to Donaldson. Donaldson is 2 for 11 in this series. Drives that one to right field. That's hit pretty well. Indy Chavez moving back and toward the corner, and he makes a nice running catch. So Donaldson, pretty good at bat against a very hard thrower. So bottom of the 8th coming up. It's the A's 3, the Mariners 1. Game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 3-6-1 for the A's, 1-5-0 for the Mariners. Sonny Gray, 7 innings, an unearned run. He's back out there sitting at 93 pitches. Brandon Moss with his 21st home run of the year. A's with a couple of 2-out RBI hits in the 5th. So bottom of the 8th inning. The A's looking for win number 59. So Sonny Gray with the bullpen getting ready to roll. Doolittle starts to throw. So Zunino to lead it off. First pitch, strike, spins in there in the inside corner.
Sonny Gray last 3 starts starting against the Marlins, 93, 95, 96. So right in that same area. But again, remember what was when is he scheduled to pitch for the first time after the break?
Sonny Gray, let's see.
So you had
Samardzija,
so
Hamill, Gray.
So Sunday. So he's got 7 days, which you go a little bit extra, and he probably would love it because he doesn't like time off. Samardzija and Hamill, the 2 newly acquired pitchers, will go back to back starting the second half. Kazmir threw a side session today. Of course, he is eligible to pitch on Tuesday in Minneapolis, if that's the case. Remember, he was the last pitcher in 2008 in New York. He was not supposed to pitch emergency only in the 15th inning.
He was going to go a while, too. Plenty of room for Gentry. Zunino is 0 for 3.
I think Terry Francona probably was the most nervous manager in the history of the game because he had to bring a pitcher in that he was only going to use in emergency. And Scott said when he went to the mound, he looked as 1:20 in the morning. So a little different for him as he is now representing the Athletics. He went 2006, 2008, representing the Rays. But he, as he said, he's so proud of the fact of his accomplishments and the A's accomplishments in the first half that he is going to Minneapolis as a starter for the Athletics with 11 wins and as a much different pitcher. Emphasis on pitcher instead of the flamethrower. So good representation for the Athletics.
One to the leadoff man, Andy Chavez, who A's have kept off the bases today. He's 0 for 3. James Jones waits in the on-deck circle. High fastball, and Chavez fouls it back. So right at 100 pitches is Sonny Gray.
Curveball down is where he wants it. Down's where he threw it, and you got a base hit.
No, you can't fault Gray there. That was just about where he wanted it.
Unfortunately, into the left-hander, it's kind of into his wheelhouse. Down as Chavez kind of bailing a little bit, just threw his bat at it, and bat made contact and fouled right field. So decision time for the manager, Bob Melvin, and pitching coach Curt Young. Always very tough this time of the game as far as what to do. Curt Young, first you've got lefty, 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 switch, lefty. So all the lefties in the lineup.
Fastball is high to James Jones.
Evidently for Bob Melvin, it seemed like the best case scenario for Sonny Gray to get through this 8th and turn it over to Doolittle in the 9th with the lefties due up.
Swing and a miss. 94 miles an hour, and the count is even at 1-1.
Holding nothing back. Sonny Gray knows maybe even his last hitter, depending what happens, because Cano is in the on-deck circle.
That one's hit slowly. Lowry charges. He's going to go to first, and they just get Jones. So Jones retired. He's 1 for 4. That opens up first base with Cano coming up, so we'll see what the A's do here.
Bob Melvin standing as he always does, and I think he is. He wants Jason to go back and talk to him.
He's putting up 4 fingers. So
yeah, they're going to put him on. Yeah. And Cano just looked back to Seager. But I think it's going to be Doolittle facing Seager. Sonny Gray stepped off of the mound towards the back and maybe not happy that this is actually occurring, but he probably realizes that with this intentional walk and with the pitch count and the time of the game, see if it's going to be Doolittle to try to get a 4-out save.
The Mariners are carrying a whole host of relievers. They only have 3 extra bench players. Sucre, who's the backup catcher, Bloomquist, and Hart. So they're all 3 right-handed hitters, but you only have 3 of them.
Seager, they will not pinch it for. And Bob Melvin, as soon as that last pitch, he's out, and it will be Sean Doolittle. And I think Sonny Gray, his competitiveness, I think, is showing on the mound right now, and it showed as he was intentionally walking Cano. But good move, and Sonny Gray pitched a great game, and if Sean Doolittle can get 4 outs, he'll pick up his 10th win.
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts.
is brought to you by Xfinity, home of the most live sports, and by Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
2 on, 2 out. A's leading 3-1. So this is a fun matchup. Two guys that, well, 24 hours from now, they're going to be teammates. All-star teammate. Doolittle to face Seager.
Well, the first pitch is a critical one because Seager knows that Sean Doolittle's a fastball pitcher. And I think Sean Doolittle, John Jaso realized that Seager is going to be looking fastball. He had the double down the left field line last night against the hard-throwing lefter Abad.
First pitch. It's a fastball inside. Andy Chavez at second, Cano at first. Decent speed. 1 for 11 is Seager against Doolittle.
Well, with the no doubles defense right now, they are playing deep. Gentry just pointed over to Perino, who is playing straight up in left field.
And this one's popped up. And this should get the A's out of the inning. Lowry's under it. He's got it. Side retired. So Seager strands a pair. Doolittle does his thing. And the A's will take a 3-1 lead into the 9th inning. We got in-depth sports news for the great Bay Area fans. Know it all with Sportsnet Central. It's brought to you by AT&T Uverse, and it's coming up this evening at 6 p.m. It's on our sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. We'll have all the highlights from this game here in Seattle. An all-star preview as Ahmed Fareed is in Minneapolis already. He's waiting for the All-Stars to arrive, and we'll have highlights from all around Major League Baseball. Kate Longworth and Henry Wolford will host. Snoqualmie Falls, just outside of Seattle. That's pretty awesome.
Well, that's where you were going tonight.
Well, I'm going to stop there on my way to the airport.
That's not in Wisconsin?
No, it's not. That is not in Wisconsin. No.
The only falling they do in Wisconsin is after maybe a couple of...
Hey, be careful here now. Be careful.
Be
careful because, you know, Illinois and Wisconsin people generally don't like each other, but I like you.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. That's something new for me.
There's some jokes about what happens, the difference between...
No. Not going to go there.
I don't want to.
Okay.
So Joe Beimel, the lefty, comes in. Nice numbers for Beimel. Kind of a situational lefty. 1.24 ERA. Usually if you see a guy with fewer innings pitched than appearances, kind of a situational lefty.
He's got a nice little streak of scoreless innings on the line as well, which he's been pitching well for Lloyd McClendon.
19 innings, covering 18 games. So part of a good bullpen for the Mariners. So Sonny Gray, 1 unearned run. And 3 outs away from Sonny Gray getting his 10th win of the year.
Pretty good when you have 2 guys standing there, one with 11 already and the other one trying to win his 10th.
The Angels are leading the Rangers 10-7. That game going to the bottom of the 9th inning. Pinto takes a bit outside. Mike Trout has 4 RBIs in that game. 73 on the season. Pinto drives one down the left field line, headed for the corner is Ackley, and it is gone. Just inside the foul pole, bangs off the side wall, and it's a 4-1 A's lead. Pinto has his 2nd home run.
What was that consecutive scoreless streak at what now?
19.
It just ended.
He gone.
Nick Pinto, one from the left side in Oakland to right center, and this a little slider coming right into his wheelhouse on the 3-1 pitch, or make it the 2-1 pitch. So Nick Pinto sprinting hard to first base, and well, that's a big insurance run, making it 4-1, but just inside the line and above the yellow line.
So 2nd home run of the game for the Athletics. 4th in this series.
Say hello to James Hoyle as he passed second base.
Miller throws to first, and that's a very nice play by the shortstop Brad Miller to get Andy Perino. It looked like the ball was going to go past him, but he reached back and made a very nice play.
That's a very good play, and boy, you hit a ball like that, you're thinking about rounding first for the base hit. Instead, you get a sprint. It turned out Perino has had a very good day. The couple of hits, scored a run, and a big walk in the 2-run 5th inning.
So here is Gentry. Gentry 1 for 3. Swing and a miss. Kind of an easy delivery from Beimel, the left-hander. So 0-2. The night game tonight will be the Red Sox and the Yankees. Or I take that back, the Orioles and the Yankees in Baltimore. I just thought that was a little unfair to have a Sunday night game before the All-Star game.
Just thinking the same thing.
Doesn't seem quite right. But what do we know, Ray?
We know that it's a day game here in Seattle, and a beautiful day, and Nick Pinto just hit his 2nd home run. He's trying to avoid a sweep and trying to go into the All-Star break with 59 wins, which get 3 more outs and they can do that.
Three and 2 now to Gentry. The A's and the Angels, 2 best records in all of baseball. Tigers have the 3rd best record. Dodgers the 4th best, and the Orioles the 5th best. That's coming into today's action. Pitch is grounded right to Cano. He's got it. Side retired. We're going to the bottom of the 9th inning. The A's get an insurance run thanks to the home run by Nick Punto, his second of the year. So it's 4-1 Leafs lead.
Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Here's today's Honda Player of the Game, Sonny Gray. Outstanding performance for 7 2/3 innings, 6 hits, and the curveball was working, the fastball was working, but really he started to throw the curveball effectively, and boy, you can see the last 4 outs it just showed there with a great curveball. But probably the biggest inning was the 4th inning. 1st and 3rd, nobody out, and trailing by a run. Actually, at that point, looked like it was going to be a tough day for him, but he got out of it and ends up going the 7 2/3, 1 run unearned for Sonny Gray. 108 pitches.
This was Gentry.
It's the left knee for Craig Gentry, and
it's been bothering him for a while.
Yes, it has, and kind of bent over at his knees. He'll be looking forward to some time off.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when he was standing just like that. So Doolittle, who got the big final out of Seager, now has an extra run to work with. So it's 4-1, bottom of the 9th inning, and Logan Morrison will lead things off. Smoke to follow, and then Ackley. Smoke, a switch hitter. First pitch is a fastball high. Morrison with a single in the 6th inning. That single is the line drive that hits Seager. So it ended the inning, and it would have been a hit if it hadn't hit Seager, but the rule is if it hits the runner, the batter who hit it is credited with a base hit, and then the out is given, I guess, to the closest defensive player.
Yeah, they said that it was Punto who was close. It originally said Lowry at shortstop, but it was recorded as a 4, unassisted.
So 1-2 to Morrison. One and two. Little kicks and the pitch. Angels won that game 10-7, so they complete the 4-game sweep of the struggling Texas Rangers. So the Angels hit the break, winners of 5 in a row and 10 out of their last 11.
As much as those players might want to break, Mike Scioscia said, no break. Let's keep going. Because you never know what's going to happen following the break, how much the player's going to be affected by the time off.
And again, next weekend, the Mariners will be down in Southern California to take on the Angels. 3-2 to Logan Morrison. And he popped it up foul. Fastball in a little bit.
Unlike last inning when the A's had the 2-run lead and Cano came up, one swing of the bat could have tied it, at least now 3. So you need to put a couple of runners on base before one swing could do the ultimate damage. But Sean Doolittle at this point has just challenged Morrison, knows he's going to get a fastball, and he's just going to try to make contact. Fortunately, Seager hit the ball straight up.
Another 3-2 pitch. And same thing, fastball, inner half. And it's fouled back by Morrison. Doolittle looking for a 4-out save. Swing and a miss. No chance on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
I'll give Morrison credit fouling off too, but this one outside just kind of running away. Talk about movement by some pitchers, and Farquhar, this one, even though it was a 4-seam fastball, had the movement going away from the lefty.
So 1 away, and here's Smoke. Well, we have not seen Doolittle get a whole lot of 4-out saves in his short time as the closer. In fact, I don't know if he has one this year. I don't recall.
Well, and the reason being is because we talk about all the lefties in the lineup, except for Zunino. The first 8 hitters facing Sonny Gray today were all lefties.
So if there's a bunch of righties in there, Gregerson probably comes in the 8th inning. Popped up. Shallow center. Punto with the glove up, and Punto grabs it, and that's the 2nd out here in the 9th inning.
Well, they talk about matchups, and that's what righties in the lineup would have been for Gregerson maybe the 8th inning, but since there were lefties, and especially since Kyle Seager was not going to be removed for a pinch hitter, as is the case now with Ackley, as Bloomquist is going to hit for him. But I think, as you pointed out, when you use all the lefties on Thursday and you have King Felix and Iwakuma going back-to-back, why would you have an overabundance of relievers anyway? Wouldn't you want a couple of extra position players, because you expect those 2 pitchers to go deep in the game anyway?
So here's Bloomquist. He's hitting for Ackley. First pitch is a fastball low. We found out, Ray, that Doolittle has 2 4-out saves in his career, but both were last year. None this year, but he's closing in on one right here. Swing and a miss, a slider, 80 miles an hour, breaking sharply down and in to Bloomquist.
When you're sitting and waiting for a 95-mile-an-hour fastball and you get the hook, that's usually the type of swing that's the result of it.
So Doolittle ahead in the count, 1-2. And the fastball is up and away just a little bit.
What's Chip Hill going to do for 4 days without baseball?
Watch tapes of baseball game. Did he go? Yes, he did, and that's the ball game. So Doolittle gets the 4-out save. Sonny Gray gets his 10th win. Doolittle gets his 14th save, and the A's salvage the final game of this 3-game series. And that is how the first half of this 2014 season ends. It ends with the A's having a 59-36 record. The second half should be a lot of fun. 4-1 is the final. A's over the Mariners. You've been watching A's Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California. Don't go away. A's Postgame Live with Brody Brazil and Pip Roberts starts right now.